All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all the praises, glory, and honor. First and foremost to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachak Wadash. That's all praises and honor to the Heavenly Father in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world calls Jesus Christ, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. And as always, peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect tabernacle of David that are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Now, this meme that you see on the screen, it speaks to what I'm going to focus on in this lesson. Because if you're paying attention right now, you see what's going on in the media. It's a whole lot of distractions that are happening. You got a lot of psyops, different things that are happening, all throughout the country. And it's to basically scatter your mind, keep you focused in different places instead of where it needs to be. And that's how this devil gets down. It's all about psychological warfare. All right, and that's why we can't be ignorant of his devices. Like it says in 2 Corinthians, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we're not ignorant of his devices. All right. So, you watching the news and all you can see is all these different shootings, all these mass shootings. And it's very convenient because every election year, it's always school shooting season, or it's time to shoot a Negro, just to get, the uproar, the outrage. And usually that's what keep the masses, it keeps them right where the elite want the masses to be. All right, distracted. Emotions flared up. People calling for solutions, because all of these problems are all being orchestrated. They orchestrate a problem, then the people start to react, and then the people cry out for a solution, which they already seem to have put in place. So, don't be distracted, because this devil is definitely, he's let's just say that the serpent, he's more subtle than any beast of the field. All right. So you see the meme, it says, whenever there is a big story in the media, look for the story they are trying to distract you from. And why are they putting so much spins on particular things that have nothing to do with you? They talking about the Super Bowl. Oh, Kendrick Lamar, he's going to perform at the Super Bowl over Lil Wayne because it's going to be in New Orleans. And, it's all this outrage from niggas because, that lean drinking, seizure having drug using goblin rapper is not going to be on the halftime show. So outrage, selective outrage. Then if it ain't that, a nigga got shot down by the police again. And I'm pretty sure Black Lives Matter, is gonna peak out real soon, like clockwork. And then you're gonna see mumble mouth Crump, Benjamin Crump. He's gonna pop out with the family of the Jake that got laying down in his car. If y'all didn't know, another Jake got shot down, and this is what the media is constantly flaring on the screen. And now with us in the know, we understand that when these things happen, it's ultimately judgment. All right. And the scriptures even say, and let's go there real quick. Let's go to Job 19 and 29. And it reads, "Be ye afraid of the sword, for wrath bringeth the punishments of the sword, that you may know there is a judgment." So we understand when these type of things happen, it's judgment. We know unto the Lord belong the issues from death. We know that the Lord kills and he makes alive. He wounds and he heals. And, there's public outrage, of course, that, sent Jake out there on a wild mission, which I wouldn't be surprised if there was some provocateurs that, helped flare it up. But, down in the D.C. area, you had a bunch of Jakes, a bunch of people tearing shit up. All right, in D.C., they started a few fires. A couple stores got looted, and this is all part of the plan, because these devils, they got to make sure that there's chaos at every helm. Okay, so this is all a reaction to what just took place a couple of days ago in DC, and this is the video right here. Now, I watched this. This is from the DC police body cam footage, and this Jake happened to be drunk, and he pops up at a McDonald's. So he's drunk out of his mind, and he rams into a drive-through of a McDonald's. So of course, law enforcement was notified, and they pull up on the scene. All these different squad cars. And then this officer right here with the actual body cam, he trigger happy. But Jake, he's not in his right mind. He's laying in the driver's seat, and he happens to have a gun, as they say, allegedly. He allegedly has a gun on his lap. So he's drunk in a vehicle in front of a McDonald's drive-through with a gun on his lap. So Jake was not in his right mind at all. Like, this was all the wrong things. And this is what it led up to. So I don't know if this was all set up, or Jake was just, super tripping, and it led to him, taking them hot ones. Either way, it was judgment. Dude wasn't right. Because why would you be anywhere behind a wheel, drunk out your mind with a weapon? Why would you do that? Why would you put yourself in that situation? So it led what it led to. All right. And I'm not going to play the video, because, even though it's on an actual news channel on YouTube, they might still take it down if I put it up. Because that's how, this devil gets down. All right. They might say we got to take it down because it's too sensitive. It's not for children. It's too graphic, or, whatever the case may be, even though this is right here on Fox 5, Washington, D.C. So I'm not going to play the video, but I'll leave a link to it in the description. But this is right when they come up to the car, and immediately when the door opens, the officer that you see with his with the gun in hand, he immediately just starts firing on Jake. So here it is. So it's definitely going to be outrage and uproar over this, because this happened to get captured on camera, just like the Sonia Macy incident. So now you got two of them. Just like the last election year, there was two. You had what's the chick name, man? Breonna Taylor, and then you also had what's the George Floyd. Breonna Taylor and George Floyd. So now here's your new two, Sonia Macy and then this Jake. What's his name? Justin Robinson. So the pattern never changes. And while this is going on, simultaneously, you got these school shootings. You had the one in Georgia, which, that was, I believe that was significant. They said 4 people were killed and 9 people were injured, and it happens on September 4th. And then you add it up in the numerology, it equals 13. And then you had the students that were alleged witnesses, but they sound more like crisis actors when you listen. So this devil, he's coordinating all type of stuff to keep the masses distracted. So that's all we're seeing right now, a bunch of judgment and distractions. And that's why we got to be on point. We got to, like the scriptures say, to be circumspect. It says to be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. So I'm not surprised by any of this. All right. But they need all the chaos that can be caused. So as that's going viral, this is what's going on. Now you got, riots and things of that nature. And, you better believe while, they're inciting this tension in the air, they're looking on social media to see if there's any words of incitement, if there's any racial hatred, being, typed on these different social media platforms. Because there's an agenda, of course, to attack the freedom of speech. They're trying to take away the freedom of speech. And this all coincides with that. So the aim is not only to take away the freedom of your speech, but because of all this gun violence, they want to take away the Second Amendment as well, the Second Amendment right to bear arms. Try to take basically resistance from the people, the power of resistance. And Esau is going to be the main one that's going to be willing to fight back. So it'll definitely be war in the streets if they try to, go for your guns. But you could tell that that's part of the agenda too, with all these different consecutive shootings. You had the one in Georgia, then you had all of a sudden, and this is less than a week apart from each other, Omaha Northwest High School in lockdown after shooting, with these teenagers all of a sudden, getting their hands on weapons and just going to schools and shooting folks. Where's the security at these schools? Or are they creating a scenario behind basically the justification to start enforcing more security, more surveillance, over these facilities? You better believe if that's not a thing, that's what they're trying to create. We're going to put more law enforcement. We're going to put more biometric surveillance technology in these different schools. All right, just like a prison. So this is all part of the pattern here, man. Then you had this situation in Kentucky. Some random guy just rolling around shooting people on the I-75. The gunman vowed to kill a lot of people. So it's just random acts of violence all over the place, right? And then they're not, taking these people out, even though they're armed and dangerous. The perpetrator will be at large. It's a manhunt for them, and then they finally find them and take them into custody, and then they already have this narrative. They already got this story, this backstory. Like, come on, man. You're trying to find a man, but you already have his picture up. So, obviously, this devil, he's trying to make moves, and these things is all intended to not only put fear into the people, but also to keep you distracted. All right. And, with a few of these being, psyops, I'm pretty sure, some of these stories are real. Like this one, Jake really did get got. You seen it on camera. And this was nothing but judgment. The scriptures say there be spirits created for vengeance. All right, that lay on sword strokes. And when they pour out their force, they appease the wrath of him that made them. So obviously, this Jake had it coming, but at his expense, at the expense of his life, this is what it is causing. All right, more chaos to erupt in the streets. And then Esau is going to come with the pressure from above and the pressure from below. Because they're all aiming at a system change. All right, that's what this is all going to lead to. A systematic design where you people are going to be placed under heavy tyranny. All right, a very dystopian, tyrannical prison world. That's what this is all leading up to. All right, more surveillance, more censorship, information control. So going back to that meme, all right, all these stories, all these things that are happening simultaneously is to keep you distracted. So what are they trying to distract you from? That's the question. Well, this same month, now mind you, tonight is supposed to be the chameleon versus Donald Trump, right? They're supposed to have their little debate tonight. So you got all this distraction and all this chaos happening around this debate that's getting ready to happen tonight. But later on this month, a lot of people don't even know about this, and they've been talking about this, for a while now. There's about to be a big summit that the UN is getting ready to have. It's going to be the UN 79th General Assembly, all right, where they're going to be hosting a highly anticipated summit of the future, where all the nations that are represented in the UN, they're going to sign this pact known as the Pact of the Future, and it represents a major step towards the creation of a world government. It's going to, give them, more power in their hand. But the masses, they don't even know about this because they're distracted. So it says the UN wants more control over global affairs and a pact for the future, which is scheduled to be adopted during the Summit of the Future that will be held on September 22nd and 23rd, will go a long way toward making that a reality. But even though the Summit of the Future is just days away, hardly anyone is talking about it, and the mainstream media is almost entirely ignoring it, of course. Because Operation Mockingbird, which is, CIA, they have to keep the people's minds, all right, under psychological operation. So they're going to program the people's minds to stay away from what these devils are doing behind closed doors. All right. It says, enormous decisions that could dramatically affect the future of everyone on the entire planet are about to be made, and just about the entire population has absolutely no idea what is going on. And that's why you have watchmen. That's why you got the prophets watching everything. The Lord set up watchmen upon the walls. And when you, matter of fact, when you go to Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, let's go there. This is Habakkuk 2:1. It says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. And we're in that time of the end where the vision is now speaking. Each day we're getting closer and closer, man, to the day of Jacob, the time of Jacob's trouble. We're getting closer and closer to the third woe. We're getting closer and closer to them rolling out the MOTB. We're getting that much closer, man. The Lord showing all these different signs in the heavens. About to be another solar eclipse. You know? So these are all major significant events, you know, that we're to be looking for. That indicates that, you know, our redemption is drawing nigh. All right. And then when you jump further down in this same chapter, this is literally going into how Habakkuk, you know, he's prophesying how these devils, all right, how basically in the last days, he would have all this control over the people. All right, that he would, you know, have the world as basically one in his hand, and he would have all the world's wealth to himself, and he would have to basically get exposed. And eventually is what's going to cause these nations to rise up against him. So this is what we're basically witnessing. All right. Habakkuk 2:4 says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yet also because he transgresseth by wine, or his democracy, his philosophies, they keep the world drunken. It says he is a proud man, you know, like it tells you in Obadiah. You know, he say in his heart, who can bring me down to the ground? You know, though he set his nest among the stars, you know, though his, you know, excellency reached to the heavens, you know, he's saying in his heart, who shall bring me down? The Lord is going to be the one who's going to bring this proud man down. He thinks he's going to rule forever. That's why they have all these, you know, these years of their objectives. All their objectives always have a year. Like you got Agenda 2030, you got Project 2025. You know, they want to have all these different things done and successful by this particular year, as if, you know, they just know that they got all this time. And matter of fact, let me get that in Psalms. They really think that they're going to continue forever. Psalms 49:11. And it says, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. So in their mind, they thinking that they're going to, you know, bypass the Lord's boundaries that nobody can pass once it's set. And they're going to just, you know, live on their own time clock, you know, like as if, you know, they're not living by the will of the Heavenly Father. These devils, they're deceived by their own pride. You know, they're bamboozled if they think that they're gonna have all this extra time to do what they're doing. And if they really are confident, then why are they moving so fast? Why does it need to be by this specific year or time? Because like it tells us in Revelation 12 and 12, the devil has come down having great wrath because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. His time is limited. His kingdom is lacking and found wanting. So that's why they're moving so fast. And when you tend to move so quick, you're not going to be accurate. Sometimes you're going to, it tends to get sloppy. And that's how Esau is moving. You know, he's moving real sloppy because he's trying to move fast. And the more he does things, the more he gets found out. He gets exposed. Because we're in that time where the man of sin has to be revealed, the son of perdition. So, going back to Habakkuk 2, it says, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell and is as death. Meaning his appetite for power and control is insatiable, which is why he's willing to cause all this chaos and violence and death in the earth. But at the end of the day, the world is going to turn against him, because the world is starting to, figure things out. Yeah, you got a lot of these dummies here in America that's easily distracted, but people around the world they're seeing what's going on. They know it's the ultimate culprits. It's these damn international bankers and their puppets that they're sending on these crash out missions to fulfill for them. The Bill Gates, the Klaus Schwabs, the Noah Yuval Harari. Even down to the puppets that they're going to put in the White House, whether it be Kamala, or Trump, Nero Trump. Either way, they're going to do whatever the desire of the elites is. And these people are still stupefied enough to believe that either one of them is going to have their interests, their best interests at hand. Or that they're going to, take some type of initiative, to like Jake. This is why, we don't deal with, 2/3 Jakes, man, because they're totally gone. They still got their head in the sand. They still believe that, going down to Egypt for help will succeed for them. Well, all it is just gonna disappoint Jake, and eventually Jake is gonna get caught up, because Jake trusts in oppression. So, reading this in verse 5, Habakkuk 2 and 5, it says, who enlargeth his desire as hell and is as death and cannot be satisfied. He's a very covetous demon. It says, but gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. And that's the UN. He wants all nations gathered together as one up under him, with him at the top, governing and controlling and dominating. So, going back here, it says this is exactly how the globalists like it. They don't want the general population to even be aware of their agenda as they relentlessly push it forward. According to the official UN website, the idea for the Summit of the Future was conceived at the height of the Crown Royal 19 pandemic 4 years ago. So they was talking about this back then. Let me jump down. And we know the amount of things that they was able to pull just with that alone, right? While they're talking about, Bill Gates coming out of the blue talking about, well, we're gonna have to choose between surviving a war or the next pandemic. Like, who told you? Because all this is all planned out. This is all part of the conspiracy. Let me get Psalms 2. See, there is no counsel against the Lord, man. Psalms 2:1, it says, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? Let me get it in the NIV. It says, why do the nations conspire and the peoples plot in vain? And they're doing it in vain because ultimately Yahushua is going to pop up like a thief in the night, and he's going to throw that monkey wrench. They ain't going to be able to perform their hands enterprise. The Lord's going to show them who really is in control. But right now, because the Lord is sitting in the heavens, watching everything, because the Lord isn't immediately judging them, they really believe that they got it. They think that they got it. They believe that they're going to succeed. And the script, that's why it says, the pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwelleth in the cleft of the rocks. And you got all these other nations that are joining league with you. So basically Psalms 83rd chapter. All right. So this is why we got to pay attention. All right. So it says, that all sounds very nice until you start digging into the details, right? It says the summit is a high-level event bringing world leaders together to forge a new international consensus on how we deliver a better present and safeguard the future. And of course, they're going to use these different crises as a means to bring forth this agenda, this enterprise. We got to, the air quality has been horrible for the past 5 years. All these wildfires, there's a lot of disease, a lot of sickness. So because of climate change, this is why we're going to move this direction. Or because of migration, because of crime skyrocketing, because, a lot of trafficking, a lot of children going missing. We got to bring forth a digital global surveillance society. All right. We need Big Brother on steroids. We need more biometrics. We need facial recognition technology. We need a credit-based system so we can lock everybody into this digital prison world. So this is what they're going to do this based off of. There's too much rebellion. There's too many people posting information that exposes our agenda. So we got to crack down on the spread of information. So this is what this is all leading to. It says effective global cooperation is increasingly critical to our survival, but difficult to achieve in an atmosphere of mistrust, using outdated structures that no longer reflect today's political and economic realities. So you know what they're saying here. We need to crack down more on the internet, these media platforms, the monetary system. We need a solution for that. Of course, go digital, which is why they bringing out all these digital currencies. Why all these different stores are going cashless. They're running all these pilot programs. You got Fed Now. It says this once in a generation opportunity serves as a moment to mend eroded trust and demonstrate that international cooperation can effectively achieve agreed goals and tackle emerging threats and opportunities. It says, when you say that something is once in a generation opportunity, that is quite dramatic. Exactly. What do they hope to achieve? Now, we know that this beast, he's going to want everybody to bow down to his system. And if you don't do so, then it's off with your head, or he's going to cut you off from his world. That's what they're hoping to achieve. Revelation 13, 15 on down. Well, the UN says that the summit of the future will focus on 5 primary areas. The event will consist of sessions and plenaries based around 5 main tracks: sustainable development, which goes back to the Agenda 2030, right? And financing, dealing with your currencies, dealing with your buying and selling. Peace and security, more digital surveillance, more tracking or tracing of your movements, or your carbon footprint. A digital future for all, and the MOTB ties into that, because it's going to be a digital advice that everything about you, all the records, will be recorded on that device. It says youth and future generations and global governance and other topics that cut across all of the work of the UN, including human rights, gender equality, and the climate crisis, of course. It says it is that 5th area that concerns me the most: global governance, basically global rule. It's just a fancy way of saying global government, and apparently there are big plans for changing the way that the UN operates. So this is their attempt to create the modern day global digital Tower of Babel, where everything is going to be one under their control. Okay, they tried it back with Nimrod during the first Tower of Babel, when he was in power in Babylon, or in Babel. Then you had another one when the Hellenists are under Antiochus Epiphanes. They wanted everybody to be one. Everybody under the same religion, worshiping the same God. So there's no new thing under the sun. And they're trying to, pull this off once again. But he knows that his time is short. All right. And them boasting of the future, this is them just boasting of their heart's desire. Was that Psalms 10? Let's go to Psalms 10. In Psalms 10 and 1, it says, "Why standest thou afar off, O Yahweh? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble?" Because these devils, they definitely preparing for trouble. And it says, "The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous whom the Lord abhorreth." And that's them, man. They're boasting of, we're gonna create your future for you. By this such and such year, we're gonna make sure there's no more gas emitting vehicles. Everything will be electrical. By this year, we're gonna make sure that we got all surveillance under your skin. By this year, we want to make sure that you own nothing, but you'll be happy. By this such and such time, you're going to eat bugs instead of actual meat, just so that we can save the climate of the earth. By this such and such time, we're going to create aerosols in the sky to block out the sun, because due to the temperature increases, why we having, global warming, aka climate change. So this is what they're known to do. And this is just what they covet because it gives them more reign, more control, more power. So ultimately the Lord's gonna have to come and crush this whole empire. Now this is why the Lord, pursuant to Isaiah, let's go to Isaiah 47 real quick. Isaiah 47 and 1, it says, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon." We know America's at the helm of this, right? "Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Take the millstones and grind meal, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man." So when Yahushua and the angels show up, they ain't gonna play no games with these devils, man. No games. And he's gonna show his power. Just as, Pharaoh was lifted up so that the Lord can show his power within, the Lord's gonna do the same with this devil this time. So they're gearing up thinking that everything is gonna be all solid and good and successful. But the Lord got different plans. This is Job 20. It is Job 20 and verse 20 says, "Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desired. There shall none of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man look for his goods. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him." And then that's, the poor of the earth, the whole world is groaning right now because of who's in power. There's a struggle for resources, food, a better infrastructure, education. Everything is down because these devils are taken from the earth. They're taking everything and busy trying to depopulate. So all these, the hands of the wicked, these are the people who feel like, man, we ain't got nothing left. We ain't got nothing else to live for. So we might as well go after the people who got everything. They're going to be the ones that's going to rebel against the system. They're getting sick and tired of, working their lives out with nothing to show for. Constantly on that same hamster's wheel. Still running the same race and not getting nowhere. So the world is going to turn against these devils, man. The higher ups. It says, when he's about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain it on him while he is eating. While you think you're about to be successful and lay back and chill and enjoy the fruits of your evil labors on the left hand, that's when the Lord's going to come for you, man. And take out your whole empire. This whole beast system is going to crumble. It's going to go right into perdition. It says, he shall flee from the iron weapon and the bow of steel shall strike him through. And that's what's going to cause this whole world to pass away with fervent heat and great noise. It's going to cause the whole earth to reel to and fro. And that's how Esau's kingdom is going to get thrown down. Though he shall return and build the desolate places, though you shall build, I shall throw down. All right? Because you're the people whom the Lord will have indignation forever. All right? It says, it is drawn and cometh out of the body. That's talking about the nuclear silo. Yeah, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall when the missile come up out of the silo. And that's what the Lord's he's using the Russians for. The Russians and all their allies, they're gearing up for that final moment. They know this war is going to turn nuclear. All right. Like, they already didn't change the language of, dealing with nuclear pacts and these nuclear deals. Trump pretty much, I mean, not Trump, Putin, he's pretty much like, we're way past, talking about this. Now at this point, I feel we're going to be justified when it comes to this. And that's just the Lord, stirring up the Medes. Because they're going to be the ones that shoot those arrows over here. That's going to leave Babylon a desolate wasteland. It says, all darkness shall be hid in his secret places. A fire not blown shall consume him. It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle. The heaven shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. And that's the reason why a lot of them are trying to get out of Dodge, soon. That's why they've been building all these underground bunkers, these shelters, because they already know what's getting ready to happen. And matter of fact, when you go back to Habakkuk 2, it says this. Matter of fact, I'm gonna keep reading down, but the point is at verse 9. Back in Habakkuk 2 and 6, it says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? Dealing with the elite. They got all this wealth. They, multi-trillionaires, got all the gold, got all that, the gold rusting, in their possession. That's why it says in James, the 5th chapter, your gold and silver is cankered. How you rich men. All right. It says, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay, meaning that debt. All that debt that's accumulated on the people is pretty much what they own. They own that debt. But you got to pay that tab, and that keeps you a continual slave. So he makes himself rich with keeping you in further debt, which is why ultimately the people is going to be like, fuck this, man. The people ain't going to stand for this any longer. All this inflation, and then eventually hyperinflation because of all this government spending. Whether Trump or Kamala get in, they're going to spend more trillions, which is going to hurt you. It's going to further afflict you in your pockets, because the value of your currency is continuing to diminish. The more they keep printing out more money into the system. All right. Your money ain't even hanging by a thread. It's just hanging by thin air until they decide to pull the plug. And once that happens, once that collapse happens, it's a done deal. It says, shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them, meaning spoils? Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee. Because of men's blood, all the wars that you didn't cause and funded, and for the violence of the land and of the city and of all that dwell therein, woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. This is devil thinking that he's going to have a safe place away from all the destruction. When that time comes, he's going to be safe and sound in his bunker or up in his doomsday plane. But the Lord's going to, like it tells you in Amos, the 9th chapter, you proceed to go up into the heavens, the Lord's going to bring you down. You try to go up into hell, the Lord's going to dig you out. So there is no escape for you. You hoarding up all these treasures and all these riches and getting these bunkers ready just for you to get judged. So this is where we at right now, man. While he's, got these people distracted, in outrage, and got you looking over your shoulder to the left and to the right. This is what he's doing. He's setting up these plans, man. Psalms the 64th chapter. Deliver me from the secret counsels of the wicked. That's what they're trying to do. Okay. Psalm 64, and I'm going to close out. I'm going to read it in the NIV. Psalm 64 and 1, it says, Hear me, my power, as I voice my complaint. Protect my life from the threat of the enemy. Hide me from the conspiracy of the wicked, from the plot of evildoers. They sharpen their tongues like swords and aim cruel words like deadly arrows. And that's why we got to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, by, taking the helmet of salvation, the shield of faith, the breastplate of righteousness. Because this devil, he's taking his aims. He wants to try to get the men of the Lord off the street, try to silence the prophets by trying to attack free speech. So we know that, Israel ultimately is the aim. That's the target for their devices. As they shoot from ambush at the innocent, they shoot suddenly without fear. They encourage each other in evil plans. They talk about hiding their snares. They say, who will see it? We see it. The Lord sees it. You can't seek deep to hide your counsel from the Lord. His eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. It says they plot injustice and say, we have devised a perfect plan. Surely the human mind and heart are cunning, but the Most High will shoot them with his arrows. They will suddenly be struck down. So the Lord is ultimately going to bring them down. So, keep your eyes open. All right. And just pay attention, be circumspect. This devil, he's running all these different plays because he know that his time is clicking. But he's not going to win. So anyway, Lord willing, this was edifying. Let me give all praise to Yahweh Shem Shai. And until the next one, Shalom.